Okay, so if we're looking at my vehicle here, this is where it's had all the electrical problems. What they've actually done is they replaced the battery terminals, and they also replaced that mega fuse on the back of the firewall here. They said there's problems with corrosion and disconnection. So they say that they've done that. They've replaced the battery cables before. You know, if you look, the battery cables are all new here on the positive side. Negative side was brand new last time they did it. That's what they did. But where they put these down, you'll see they're connected up there, and the one at the bottom here, that one goes off underneath this big hole. There's gaps now in my engine cover where they ran that, and that wire kind of comes back up and goes to the back of the alternator here, and then across the back by the firewall, that's where the other battery connector goes, and that connects up to the back of this fuse box. And if you look at it, you can tell they've been in the fuse box because my wiring is kind of loose and dangling here. There's connectors unplugged, or not connectors, but hold downs. More wiring in the back is disconnected. You can see things like this hold down here has not been connected either. There's more hold downs in the back. You can kind of see it by the brake line there. It's supposed to be connected to something, but now it just kind of dangles underneath. So there's a lot of these wires at the back of the fuse box just now loose and dangling. Things I came over and took a look to see how the power cable was too. But if we get a look at it here, hard to see, but I mean, this thing is just kind of really loose, flapping in the breeze. So let's take a look at that. Let's take the cover off the fuse box. Okay, there we go. Tricky here with one hand. There we go. Set that aside. This might even be a little more tricky. Gotta lift the handles. There's one. Get the one off the back. Lift it up. Put those arms back down. And the fuse box is disconnected for the truck. I need to be able to get up in here somehow. See if I can climb up here. There we go. Again, you know, this cable is just really loose sitting in here. There's nothing holding it in. So when I kind of get a look in here, you can see there's connectors on this side. This thing is supposed to be attached. That tab is just dangling there. So they broke that tab off. And there's nothing holding that wire in. There's my battery cable that they just put in. Just flops out of there. On the side of this thing, there's tabs. It's supposed to be, you know, supposed to catch on the side there, and on the nose. And if we look back under the fuses, it's kind of nice of them that left a lot of this stuff disconnected, so everything still moves. But you look at the tabs, and you can see this near side one here is bent right down and pretty much busted right off. So it's not holding anything. It's hard to tell what the far side's doing. And they said that they had filled this with dielectric grease, but I'm not able to find a whole lot of it. They did put dielectric grease on this connector, but they claimed that they ran through, checked all the connectors all over the vehicle. You know, kind of get a good look at this one here. And I believe they did check this one, because these cables are disconnected. Yeah, and they also changed these, and my cover for my engine doesn't fit all that well anymore. Let's put this battery cable back. And again, it's supposed to go in. The nose is supposed to connect. It's supposed to clamp down in there, but there's no connectors because they're broken. Let's put this back down. Connected. That's just how loose that sucker was in there before. I'll have to finish putting that on when I have two hands. So, you know, after seeing how cautious they were on this side, I thought I'd go kind of look around a little more. One of the things I note is that I had to replace the battery cable that goes down to the starter. A little difficult to see on the side here, but from the side of the vehicle you can see it. I don't know if you can get back in there, but you can see on the starter, and the new cable goes in there. One of the things that kind of catches your eye here is that this is the connector for my analog brakes. It used to be attached to this hole down here, but the cable is popped off. So I'm going on the assumption that when they were busy working in here, it was in their way, so they broke it off. And then they just tucked it up on the brake line here and expect that to be a quality job. Because this line right here is the cable they replaced to the starter. Again, I don't know if you can get in there and look, but I can't really make out any dielectric grease on that starter post. It's pretty dry. But I really didn't see any other connectors and sets of cable and loose up underneath the truck, which is both good and bad, since they claim they've checked all of the connectors, including the ones that go into the transmission, etc. I'm not so positive they have, and if they have, I'd be very afraid because of the shoddy workmanship that's been done on the front here. And just let me get you another idea. When they were working on, there was also grounding issues in the headlight cabling. When they had that in, they took the passenger side mirror and knocked it off the truck. This is a new one that's on here right now. Still waiting for the painted cover. You can see there's some scratches in the side there, but this whole mirror is brand new because they knocked that off on the lift. They chewed up the steering wheel when it was in the first time when they had it, but they've gone through and they've brought in the interior guy and he's sanded it down and re-dyed it, so now my steering wheel is smooth again. But I had a run of bad luck so far trying to get my vehicle worked on. Again, quality of workmanship is not very good. I don't remember such a big gap in these covers here. But again, like I said, they had them off because that's where they ran the battery cable to the back of the alternator. You see the red power cable again that's coming out of the back of the bottom of the mega fuse over there. So I'm not sure what the dealer's going to do about fixing my fuse block over here. You know, at least the connector, putting that back together. They left it just the way it was. They broke it, left it in there. So I'm going to have to, you know, basically that's this whole housing. Am I going to trust them to take that out? What else are they going to do? You know, they couldn't be bothered to put the connectors back in that they disconnected from the cabling. You know, these things here are disconnected down below. You know, so they're just leaving my wiring on my truck. I've already got electrical problems going on. You know, wires jumping around and bouncing are not really going to help the issue. They're just going to make it worse. Got a case open with GM customer service. The representative was very abusive and combative. I requested to speak to another person, and it took me a few times of talking to people before they'd let me have another person to work with, but they finally have, and that person has actually called me twice now in the last several weeks. They never returned my calls, and it's been just over a week now since they were supposed to call me back last, when I had it in to work on the other, I shouldn't say other, but to work on the front lighting electrical problems. There's all sorts of electrical problems in this vehicle. This is starting to really bug me. It's only got 75,000 on it, but my extended warranty that I bought from General Motors is coming up to its end quickly. I do quite a bit of driving. I might get that cover on.